Welcome to my holiday card tutorial for 2025. I'm going to create this tutorial in two parts. The first part is going to be showing you how to paint these super simple bubbles. You'll fill the bubbles with kindness and send them out to the world. The second part of the tutorial will be showing you some options for putting text on your card. It's a super simple technique and loads of fun. You don't need very elaborate material. I suggest having watercolor postcards, which you can make, of course, by cutting them down, or you can already buy them with the postcard lines on the side. I have found them at all the stores that sell watercolor paper. I suggest having a large piece of watercolor paper for practice first. We'll be creating the bubbles with some water reactive colored markers. I like the Tombow dual marker, and I just picked out a couple of colors that seem festive to me. I also would work with the Ecoline or any kind of marker that is going to be water reactive, so it'll give you a watercolor effect. It's helpful to have some white gel pens. I prefer the Signo Uniball gel pen. And then just for that extra holiday zhuzh, I like watercolor that is going to be kind of iridescent gold, and I have two different brands here. You'll need a paintbrush and some water, and then it's helpful to have a variety of sizes of circles that you're going to trace around. To practice making these bubbles, I suggest also a pencil, just so that you can sketch it out first and see how we're doing it. You're going to take a round object that you can trace around, and you'll notice that my marker does leave some pigment on the object that I'm tracing around, so make sure you're not using something from the kitchen unless you're going to really clean it well. And you just will trace around that object with whatever color you want. And just for fun, I'm going to put a couple of colors on here. And I'm not really worried about anything, quote, perfect. You probably know that by now, the way I work. And then I'm going to take a wet brush and bleed that. But before I do, I'm going to draw in the areas that you leave white. So I'm going to leave these areas white, and I'm drawing them in really dark so that you can see them. When I go to paint my cards, I don't do the pencil at all. I just want you to see what you think about leaving sections white. Okay, now I take a wet paint brush and I bleed the colors, and I come into my bubble and I just mush, technical term, mush the watercolor around these areas that I'm designating to remain pure white. And if you like it a little darker, that's fine. If you like it a little lighter, that's fine. I'm just moving around and leaving those sections white. Here's what it looks like if I don't put the pencil line in first. I trace around my shape. I'm going to add another color, just in sections. I don't have to do the whole thing in that color. And now I take my wet paintbrush, and then I can visualize leaving those curved areas white. And nothing is perfect. It doesn't really matter what you leave, just so long as you remember to leave some sections pure white. And I might even leave that little dot. I might leave that section. I might leave that section. You get to just be really loose and free. And remember, the only thing that matters is you just want to fill these bubbles with kindness. And I've got different sizes that I can play with. And let's do the Ecoline. So I can do some different sizes. I can overlap my bubbles, which gives a nice effect. So for your practice page, just play with it and see what you like, see what colors seem to work for you, and have a good time. You can always go back and add more colors, not a big deal if you sort of get off the line there. It's going to look like a bubble. especially when we add a little bit more zhuzh. So I'm just having fun filling in these bubbles. So the first step is the tracing around a circular object. The second step is adding your water so that this marker becomes watercolor-like, and adding it so that you're leaving some white sections. Now, the zhuzh part is where you have your gold watercolor, and remember that you need to add water to this palette, the little pan, to let it soak into this the paint. And don't expect it to work just like a regular watercolor. It really needs a few minutes to soak in before you can start pulling up your paint. That looks pretty juicy. And now I'm going to simply tap so I can get this beautiful gold spatter. And then I like to add with holding my paintbrush more or less upright, and this is a round brush, probably number 4. So I like to hold it upright and zhuzh it up a little bit with some sparkles. There you go. All right, that sparkle bled. Great. I always like a random effect. So step 1, go around your circle. Step 2, fill it in, leaving areas white. And again, the only reason I did the pencil in this first one was so you could see it. And step 3 is just zhuzhing it up. Now for adding the holiday text message, and my message this year is, may kindness bathe our world. I started with may kindness bathe your heart this season. That works too, but it got a little long. So you could start with printing it out in a Word document, play with colors and fonts, and then you can simply cut that out and glue it onto your card. And then if you want, you can even spatter over that so that the text seems to blend in a little bit. That's an option. My favorite is to work with these clear full sheet labels. Avery makes them, other companies make them. You can get them at any of the office stores. And it's a full sheet that you run through your printer. So you can play with your text and your colors as well. But the difference is that this will come off and be transparent. So I would cut out, and then I would simply remove the transparent label. Look how cool that is. And then I would be able to set this down on my card. And voila, it's more or less transparent, so I can still see the bubbles back behind it. So option 2 is to use this clear full sheet label paper, and you can run off a whole bunch and then just slice them up and put them on your cards. And of course, option 3 is to handwrite. And for some of these, I hand wrote my message in each bubble. And then I wrote, may kindness bathe our world on the back as a holiday card. Finally, the white gel pen is available for you to just add some little additional marks. They just kind of pick it up a little bit, make it a little bit more sparkly. You can add these little additional sparkles with the white gel pen. Some of these gel pens dye pretty quickly, as you already know, so it's a good idea if you're going to buy them a couple of them at a time so that you get a few. And you can just continue to add sparkles. You can also go around your gold in some areas. That'll just bring that out as well. The white gel pen is just an addition at the end. So that's it. May kindness bathe our world. Finally, what I did was take a photo of this one. We're going to send out a lot of cards this year because we need a lot of kindness bubbles going out in the world, I believe. So I took a photo of this and sent it over to one of the online print stores. I happen to use Vistaprint, and I printed out over 100 for less than $20. in a postcard format. And I'm really excited. They're arriving tomorrow, and tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And so right after Thanksgiving, I will address them and send them out, and hopefully send out a little more kindness into our world. I wish you a happy, happy, kind holiday. If you have questions about anything that you've seen in this tutorial, please email me through jcmamet.net, the contact page, and I will also have a link there to Dick Blick where you can find all these supplies curated into a shopping cart. I wish you a lovely holiday season full of good health and kindness.